round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Through the rain and through the snow, they wind it up and watch it go. Tilt-a-whirl. Don't know how it started, tilt-a-whirl, but I can't get off. Tilt-a-whirl. I don't think I like it, tilt-a-whirl, but I just can't stop. This is the Community Solutions Podcast. Jason, Bradley, and Richter from deep in the bowels of our underground lair, where it's true, we are the leakers behind the majority opinion on getting rid of...
We'll call you Deep Throat.
Yes, that... We just wanted to do it to gloat, though. I mean, everybody says, "Oh,
come arrest me. Take away my law license." Okay, I've heard of the Tilt-a-whirl.
Yeah, you've heard of a Tilt-a-whirl before?
Yeah, Valley Fair. Is that who sings it? Valley Fair?
No.
Six
Valley
Flags?
Fair. Yeah, that you got it. That's yes.
Okay, let's not keep anybody waiting here. I don't have any idea.
Okay, song is Tilt-a-Whirl by Galactic Cowboys, who we've featured on the show 2-3 times before.
Galactic Cowboys, is that like Emmett Smith and
no, that's
Troy
like
Aikman?
the Dallas
No.
Cowboys.
Oh, okay,
That's something a little different.
We've featured the Galactic Cowboys, and I missed it somehow.
Yeah.
All right, Tilt-a-whirl.
Yes.
Round and round we go. We're not talking roundabouts.
No, but we're talking about something that Tilt-a-whirl would be very, very apropos for today's...
Tilt-a-whirl, or maybe, some cyanide or something like that.
Cyanide? I don't think we're talking about cyanide.
Well, yeah, you want to poison yourself after hearing... All of our shows have to increase... people's mental health problems, I think, when they listen.
We have to bring solutions and joy, because
there is no joy in
that we
Mudville.
talk about on this show. We risk losing people, and we can't do that. We've got to grow the listenership.
What horrible things are we going to talk about today? I tell you what, though, Jay.
Yeah.
It is May now, and we're not going to do history lesson yet.
Yeah.
Okay, yet in this month. But there is something that happened in sports.
Yeah.
In the first week of May in 1939. Now, I'm gonna ask you first if you can think of what happened on May 2nd, 1939.
May 2nd, 1939.
Now, if you don't know, it's okay, because it's a tough one.
Okay.
But it got me to thinking. I don't know why I was thinking about this all day. So you know I'm a numbers guy.
Right.
Even though I hate, and I'm a baseball guy, even though I hate ranking people and I hate coming up with new stats and I hate all the math geeks who've taken over the sport with their pocket protectors and their dorky glasses and their, if they walked into a men's locker room, they'd be whistling Stranger in Paradise. I do not like those people, okay? But it's hard because, my brain works numbers.
Right.
And so something happened that day.
Okay.
And it got me to thinking, and I'm going to ask you a question, and I may even give you multiple choice answers. But do you know what happened that day? It's in baseball history.
I figured it would be. The NHL wasn't really happening then.
It was the original six.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was on CB radio or something. I don't think Bo and Luke even got him.
Yeah. So where you turn the dial and yeah.
Have to stand in the corner with a tin hat on.
Well, knowing you, it has something to do with the New York Yankees.
It has something to do with the New York Yankees.
Probably yes. Babe Ruth.
Okay, you're close. Ruth retired in 35.
Oh, so Henry Aaron.
Henry Aaron played for the Braves.
With Braves. That's right. He was with the Braves. Well, he could have been visiting.
He could have been visiting, but if he was, I don't know.
Okay. Well, then it has to do with an actual Yankee.
It does.
Well, this is great. Yeah,
You're
I
3
don't know.
for 3 so far.
I wasn't alive in 39. That's the problem. I guess I'm just gonna let's say Cy Young. I don't even know what team he played for.
Red Sox.
Red Sox. Okay. Well, close enough.
Retired in 1911, but okay.
Close enough. Okay, who came after him? Lou Gehrig. I don't know.
It has something to do with Lou Gehrig.
Is that the? It wouldn't be numbers if that was the day he found out he was sick.
Close.
Yeah.
it was actually the day that his consecutive game streak stopped.
Oh.
Was May 2nd, 1930.
Because of his illness.
Which he didn't know yet. He got diagnosed about a month later.
Wow.
With ALS.
I didn't do bad.
Yeah. You just spewed out Yankees or Braves until you got it right.
Or Red Sox.
Yeah.
the two Yankees I named.
I mean, that's
not too bad.
Cy Young did play in the 1890s for the Cleveland Spiders. I'm surprised you didn't announce any Spiders.
I've never heard of the Cleveland Spiders.
Of course you haven't. They were contracted in 1900. But
I like them better than the Cleveland Guardians.
I like anything better. They call them the Cleveland Skid Marks as far as I'm concerned. Now, Jay,
yes.
The significance of that, 2,130 games.
Yes.
Okay. The previous record was held by a guy named Everett Scott, who actually played with Gehrig. He was on the 23 Yankees.
Okay.
He was let go. I'm not quite sure what year he was. And he started with the Red Sox and came over, and he was gone by 27. Mark Koenig was the shortstop on the 27 team. You're not going to stump me on that team. But he got me to think. So Cal Ripken in 1995, and
right.
I'm sure you remember when he broke.
I do.
Gehrig's record, 2,632 is how many consecutive games he played in. But he got me to thinking. There are several baseball records that some consider unbreakable.
Right.
I'm not sure I consider anything unbreakable.
I don't either.
The way the game has changed, my mind's kind of changed on that.
Yeah.
But what do you think? What is the record? It doesn't have to be in baseball, but what's the record that stands out to you? That you think is just incredible, or feat that you don't think will ever happen again.
Oh boy.
I mean, I'm going to throw a couple out at you, and you don't have to pick these, and you can be in a different sport if you want. But I mean, we have DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. You got, will anybody hit 400 again? Ted Williams, the last to do it in 1941. Cy Young's 511 wins, I think, are as safe as anything.
That one, absolutely. Yes.
I don't know. When you think about 511 wins, if you got half that, you'd be in the Hall of Fame. So there's, Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters. There's, Ricky Henderson stealing 130 bases in a season.
That one maybe could get broken.
In today's baseball, no bases anymore.
Wow.
So it's kind of that could change sometime in the future. I thought a guy like Vince Coleman would make a run at that, but and he did steal 103 times. But I mean, is there a record that you just wow and you just think, man, nobody will ever touch that? Wayne Gretzky's records, maybe in hockey. I mean, what do you think? I have my thoughts on it, but I mean,
I guess nobody can break at least. Well, no, that's not true. Now in football, somebody could break was it Miami and Detroit both had 0-16 seasons?
It was Cleveland, but yeah.
Oh, Cleveland. Now somebody could have an 0-17 season.
It's true.
So it's true. Now that could fall.
Hey, the Jets got something to play for.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of a team one, but yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Somebody will break that at some point.
Yeah, you'd think you'd win 1 or 2 games just by accident, but or two teams playing each other, both trying to tank. I don't know. I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd see a winless football team, and I've seen it twice now.
Right. Happy Gilmore's record on how many people he stabbed with a skate. The record for how many people stabbed with a skate.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I mean, you think anybody else, could somebody pass Barry Bonds? I mean,
it depends now. Are people more aware of the performance-enhancing drugs?
I think baseball's pretty tough now to.
That's why I think it will be hard to beat Barry Bonds.
I think it'll be hard because not so much of that, but because ball players they don't stay healthy anymore. They sit out all the time.
Yeah.
Every time they, have a dingleberry, they sit out for 2 weeks. They just don't they don't have that toughness anymore.
Well,
I just
welcome to America.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you will see that fall. If it does fall, it's not going to fall by much. I mean, hit 800 home runs. I mean, that's Bonds hit what 762 or 3. I think he ended at. So I mean, that's.
I don't know. I think it'll be a long time before we see anybody break like some of. Oh my word! I had it. And
which sport?
Football. Tampa Bay.
Oh,
Brady's records. I think it'll be a long time.
Could be. I mean, I thought the same about the guys before him, and so
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the next closest, right?
In touchdown passes of active players, I think.
And he's nowhere near where Brady's at.
No, and he didn't play the first couple years of his career. Remember, so he got a later start.
Yeah.
Than some of them. I don't know. Pat Mahomes could get there at some point, but the way football is with passing records are safe. I mean, when I grew up, Fran Tarkenton had every record in the book.
Right. This
is pre-Montana, pre-Marino, and Elway, that group. Or they were just, it was like 30th on the all-time list. I mean, he played for a long time, but that just shows with the rule changes and the offensive changes.
The game has changed a lot. You did a lot more running back then.
Yeah, I mean, you could like tackle wide receivers.
Yeah.
And now you can't touch them, can't touch the quarterback. I mean, it's a completely different game. I think because of that, guys will play longer. I mean, you look at a guy like Brady, and even Rodgers is probably 38 now.
Yeah, he's about there.
But he can put. Drew Brees played a long time.
Yeah,
I mean, they can play a lot longer. So,
yeah,
I don't know if anybody would win that many Super Bowls again. But I didn't think anybody break Joe Montana either. So,
yeah,
I don't know.
Well, I don't know too. I mean, 2 years ago, Brady brought Tampa a Super Bowl.
Just think,
40. So
go back to those old orange uniforms and think to yourself that they have won 2 Super Bowls in our lifetime, and the Vikings have won none.
0. Yes.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a team. By the way, they were winless their first season, but it was only a 14-game schedule.
Right.
They were 2-26 in their first 2 years.
They won
had 2
wins.
Super Bowls.
They had 2 wins many years in the 80s.
Yeah, that's right.
Under Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, Vinny was okay.
And
Trent Dilhole.
Trent Dilfer. And who was it before that?
Craig Erickson. And there was... I don't even want to think of the list of Tampa Bay quarterbacks. My goodness. Even when they were good, some of their quarterbacks weren't very good. I mean, it's just
those teams made Detroit look like the.
Well, let's not say that now. I mean, Detroit is in a class by itself as far as I'm concerned. But
right.
So okay, I'm gonna throw in a couple more baseball ones.
All right.
I'm gonna say DiMaggio's 56-game hitting streak. We never see that get broken.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you compare that with Ted Williams. And I'm gonna get into the baseball weeds here, just because that's what I do. I always thought Williams's feat of batting .406 was tougher.
Yeah.
Because during DiMaggio's entire 56-game hitting streak, he batted .408. So it's kind of like, okay, Williams hit .406 for the season.
Yeah.
But DiMaggio's hitting streak has never been touched before or after. I mean, Pete Rose had a 44-game hitting streak in the 70s. Paul Molitor, when he was with the Brewers, had a 38 or so. But you think of all the great hitters, Jay, that you and I have seen. From Tony Gwynn to Wade Boggs to Ichiro
Kirby Puckett.
I mean, and none of them put a 30-game hitting streak together.
No.
I mean, it just goes to show how
hard.
Incredible that record is. And you go back, you think of baseball in the dead ball days and the lively ball days, expansion, relief pitching, DH. It's one of the purest records there is.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't think anybody will touch. I don't think anybody hit 400 either, especially today. I mean, if Tony Gwynn didn't do it, Wade Boggs didn't do it.
And with a record like that, you can't take a drug or something and cheat. You actually have to be able to put the wood on the ball and hit it where there's not a defender.
And it's only cheating if you get caught. Remember, that's one of my proverbs.
Right.
It's only cheating if you get caught. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is going to be. I don't think anybody will touch Wayne Gretzky,
right?
Or anything like. Now, here's another one. I know I'm not a big golf fan, but 15 years ago, I thought Tiger Woods would blow every golf record away.
Right.
Goes to show how Jack Nicklaus's records may never be broken by anybody.
Well, if you get another player
Masters,
like Tiger and he doesn't get into the trouble he got into, he doesn't get into a wreck,
maybe, but those guys come along once in a generation, and I don't know, to win 6 Masters, to win majors when you're like 47 or whatever Nicklaus's last one was. You stop playing them at 50, you can go to the senior tour,
right?
And Tiger Woods is like 47 now. As great as he is, I mean, he is great, no question about it. But I mean, you watch some of these guys. Phil Mickelson's probably the second or third best player I've ever seen. He's got like 6, total. I mean, it just goes to show how hard it is,
right?
Especially in an individual sport. You can't have an off day and hope your teammate, you pitch so and hope your team scores 8 runs. I mean, that's going to be difficult. So
well, to hold an elite status at anything, I mean, look at Mike Tyson. I mean, have we seen anybody come along?
No, boxing's like dead.
Well, it is, but
boxing again is a sport that has generational stars. Go back to Joe Louis, Muhammad Ali, Rocky Marciano, and then. Guys that were as good as Ali, but kind of in his shadow, whether it's Joe Frazier or somebody like that. I mean, I don't think lighter guys, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler. I mean, I remember watching Tommy Hearns. I think Tyson is unfortunately the last boxer to really captivate the public in a Muhammad Ali kind of way.
Right.
It's just, I don't know. I just think that with MMA and with UFC, I think that's where boxing fans have gone. I don't think that there's, and I think it stinks because I think there's a real art to boxing. I think that's one of Tyson's problems when he got older is there's an art to this. I mean, if you're just a headhunter at some point, somebody's going to be able to physically extend you and you can't knock everybody out in the first couple rounds.
Can't eat everybody's ear.
Yeah. And it's funny because if you mention Holyfield, Holyfield actually probably exceeded Tyson. Yeah, but I mean, he held the title more often Tyson had that one run in the late 80s.
Yep.
And then he went to jail. He came back for like 10 minutes and Holyfield beat him twice. And that, for the most part, ended his career. I mean, he still was a sideshow and a carnival guy.
Yeah.
He was good to have at WrestleMania, but he was done as a boxer.
Why don't these kind of guys get together and do something that, like him and Rodman and guys like that, why don't they get together and do something to like captivate the public? I mean, they could easily do it.
Of course they could. I don't know why. I mean...
I don't know. Maybe you can't have that many egos in one room either.
Yeah, maybe you can't agree on who should do what or who should be the craziest. I think it'd make a great reality show.
Yeah, it would.
It should have been the
Dennis
first one
Rodman
ever.
And Mike Tyson in one house with like I don't know who else you would put in there, but
the Kardashians. I don't know. I mean,
no. It all have to be sports guys.
T.O. in there.
Yeah,
he's another walking.
Absolutely.
Disaster. Sure. I mean, it would be. I'll tell you what, though. I was just thinking. Do you think anybody will score 100 points in a basketball game again? A la Wilt Chamberlain.
Ooh, that's a tough
Kobe
one.
Bryant came. He scored 80 once.
Yeah.
I guess it could be done.
It could be, but it's a really high bar.
Yeah, and you think to yourself too. I mean, if you're creaming another team, you don't leave your star out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of that now too, where it's just we're gonna bring him out so he doesn't get hurt.
Stupid San Antonio. That's who started that. That stupid, the most boring team in the history of the world. So,
is that really true?
No, I just call them that.
The 1980s and 90s Clippers probably would be a good candidate for that.
Okay, the most boring good team. How about that? The most boring good team.
Yes.
And yes, Cy Young's 511 wins. Nobody will throw 8 no-hitters. Yeah. So, by the way, Nolan Ryan threw 12 one-hitters.
Really?
Now, that's 19 complete games, which I don't know if Major League Baseball will have this year.
Yeah.
So,
if you get one, you're doing good.
Yeah, no, you're a workhorse.
Yeah.
A rain-shortened 6-inning complete game. That'll be... All right, enough sports talk.
Yeah, it's fun.
But you people just think of some unbreakable records out there. And there are many I didn't think would be surpassed, but...
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't think we'll live to see Pete Rose's record broken either. 4,200 hits.
That's a lot of hits.
I don't see it. I just don't see it.
Not even Michael Jackson came close to that.
Or Elvis or anybody else.
Yes.
Jay, I hate it when cities do dumb stuff.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know if this is dumb, but it is difficult to listen to all the whining that they do about not having enough money, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And you see what they spend on what?
Oh, it's terrible.
And it's frustrating. Okay, it just is. And one of the things and it's funny, we've touched on this for over 5 years now. Cities and having pools and golf courses and liquor stores and whatever else, hockey rinks.
Yeah.
And amphitheaters. And we kind of joke about it a little bit. But I wonder if community centers, and there's this keeping up with the Joneses thing. I recall a Golden Valley City Council meeting where, what's her name? Emphysema lady. I can't remember her name.
Joni Clausen.
Yeah, that's it. When she bragged that about how good Golden Valley's budget was doing. And keep in mind, they didn't have a pool. Keep in mind, they didn't have a hockey rink. Now, never mind they own a golf course.
Right.
Okay? Never mind that. Never mind they built a huge community center there. Yeah, never mind that.
Yep.
But they're watching every nickel.
Oh, absolutely. I've never seen budget hawks like that in my life.
Yep, they don't waste one roll of toilet paper. They don't waste one pencil. They don't waste, one sheet of paper. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to amenities, now, Jay, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think amenities really draw people to a community? I mean, stop and think for a minute. If you want to move somewhere, let's just pretend today you wanted to move somewhere. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you got to live where you can work. I know you're self-employed, but let's just pretend you weren't.
Okay.
Okay, and you had to work. You're a dad, so, the local schools would be important.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all that kind of thing. How much does a community center draw you to a place to live?
None.
Zero. So why is it? Why is it that these things are things that you constantly hear? Oh, we got to have a pool. Oh, we got to have a community center. We got, by the way.
Right.
And I'll get into that in a minute. But I mean, what is the thinking that goes into, is this keeping up with the Joneses? Is this, this city has it, and this city has it, and this city has it? I mean, or is it, do they really think that the local hockey rink is what draws people to, their community.
I think politicians think that.
Do they really, or are they just good actors?
Well, there is that.
Personally, I think they're bad actors, but
they are bad actors. They tend to make that case, though, don't they? That we've got to have this because the next cities over have this, and we got to stay competitive, and we got to draw people into our community, and we got to have
you're right.
walking paths, and we got to have bikeability, and we got to have ability to be able to get to stores easily, and mixed use development, so everybody can be in a community, and we
have
got to
have sense of place,
cultural art, and we got to have people. Yeah, you're right. Schools are probably number one. Crime rate is probably number two.
Economy,
taxes,
jobs,
what kind of housing do you have? And I don't mean luxury apartments. I mean, starter homes versus
right. If you're like a family of five, you have to have a certain type of house. Yeah. Sure.
I think there's a lot that comes on that list before you ever get to amenities. People might think, oh, they have a pool here. That's nice. Although here, I mean, there's so many lakes with beaches.
It's the land of 10,000 lakes, and we're worried about pools.
Yeah. Well.
Well, and I just thought of something here in Crystal. Didn't they put solar panels on the pools recently on the top?
On the pools?
Or was it just the community center?
Just the community center, I think. But
so just the community center. That was it. That got the old solar
but before
panels.
our current council was...
it was a ways back.
Yes.
They
I wonder if they paid for themselves yet.
I doubt it. I wonder if the bulbs are rich. They were supposed to... Obama's bulbs that we were supposed to use have lasted this whole time. Well, I think, first off, let me just say something too. Like my favorite is the city golf course. That's my favorite. Oh yeah. Because you have this huge golf course. Okay. I mean, I'll pick on Golden Valley because Golden Valley has two of them.
Yes.
There's a par 3 and there's a large golf course.
Yeah. I mean, they're part of the same complex there, aren't they?
As where the community center is, I believe, it is the same, right by Channel 11 there.
Yeah.
But think about this. You have all this land for golf. Now, look, I have nothing against golfing. I happen to like the sport a lot. But is that something for the government to own? I mean, stop and think about it for a minute. The government can have a golf course. They can charge way less money because, quite frankly, they could bill the taxpayers.
Yeah. Which
isn't fair to golf course B, C, and D.
Right.
Okay. I mean, you have all of this land that's off the tax rolls. Mm-hmm. And keep that in mind, too. It's double whammy. Yeah. You have to pay for the course, maintain the course, then that course brings in no revenue.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying let's put up condos. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there is a cost benefit to everything like this.
Yes.
So what is the actually, let me back up a second. One of the things that they often will make the case for is that this brings out-of-towners to their city. The people from other communities come and they pay up.
Really?
And that, yes, I have seen that too.
Yeah.
That it brings business, it brings other people in. Strange.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah, I don't know of any person that goes to the next city over to go to their community center. You might get some people that will go over for a pool or a golf course. I mean, I've played at the Golden Valley Golf Course.
I've played at New Hope too. Yeah.
I haven't played at New Hope. Don't need to be spending money there.
I admit I've been there.
Yeah, but I mean, really, how many of these amenities really do bring people from other cities? And I would venture to say it's pretty small. I mean, the golf course probably brings more because, golf is popular, especially if you're running like a par 3. That's a nice option.
Who aren't that good. They can play a smaller course.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some things to that. However, I mean, as we've seen, government's not really good at stuff like, figuring out how much money they need and then going and getting it through honest means, right? It's always got to be at the point of a gun. It's got to be.
Here's where I come back to again. I want to bring it to a liquor store.
Okay.
How is it fair for the government to own a liquor store and have other liquor stores compete with the government?
Yeah.
Now, I'm just going to throw something out here. Government can undercut prices if they want to because they don't have to make a profit.
Right.
They don't have to. I doubt they're paying a liquor license to themselves.
They are not.
I highly doubt they're paying a fine to themselves if there's a liquor store violation.
And I would also venture to say that the benefits that are paid to the employees are far better than the benefits that are paid to,
probably,
say, at MGM or one of these other places around.
Right. I mean, it's probably a lot of part-time workers.
I mean, are they getting para and stuff like that?
Well, boy, that I don't know. Probably. They probably have that option. I mean, if city council members can do it and they're part-time, why wouldn't a part-time clerk be able to?
If
you're
they're a government employee?
City employee, right? Yeah,
right.
Maybe. It's a good question, actually. I'm not sure. Possibly.
Yeah.
I would imagine the same benefits exist that would be given to everybody.
Right.
But how is that fair to the other liquor stores in a city? That the city can own one, operate one, run one, and they don't have to worry about profit and loss.
Right.
I mean, some cities I'm sure do make a profit, quote unquote, but they don't have to.
Right.
How's that fair?
Well, it's not,
Do they need their own business ID and tax ID? And that stuff costs money, too, when you start a business,
Right.
I'm sure the city doesn't pay property taxes on the liquor store owner does.
Well, probably not.
So, I mean, there's
City
a lot.
owns the property.
Yeah, there's a lot of unfair crap there.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Yes.
we're picking on Golden Valley a little bit. I'm picking up a Sun Post article, and this is from 2015. But I want to just give this is the big thing too, is how much this crap costs.
Yes.
Okay. The title of it was Golden Valley City Council moves forward on an $18 million community center. Now, I know for a fact that's more money than their entire yearly budget.
Yes, it is.
But you'll be glad to know that their task force, community center task force, actually recommended a new building for $38 million. So we said the council saved money. They try to make the case in here they saved money.
Because they didn't wildly spend as much?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, this is the way government defines a cut, right? We didn't spend as much as we wanted to.
Absolutely. So you can see, I mean, they had an administrative office, golf course, pro shop, grill and dining area, conference room, patio, roof terrace. God, you name it. Restrooms, lockers, conference rooms, senior gathering spaces, nobody under 65 allowed. Classrooms.
Classrooms.
129 new parking stalls. Surprised they added any.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess my question, my point is this alone, this thing, costs $18 million just to build.
Yeah.
Now, for $18 million, you can do a lot in a city.
Right.
So, I mean, how does one justify? And again, I mean, like you said, I think there's pluses and minuses to all this stuff. But whether they were going to do this or not was not the question. It was simply how much were they going to spend, and what were they going to do with it? Nobody sat around and said, "What, God, do we need this dang thing?"
Yeah.
And I remember in Crystal, when the Crystal Community Center was built, because I was playing Little League. I was the last Little Leaguers to play on the old fields, 1989, before it was torn down and the community center was built. And to this day, I still do not understand the point of that building.
Yeah. You're not the only one.
Well, what's done there? I've voted there a few times.
Yeah.
Of course, you could vote at a church or the VFW or something else. But I voted there. I attended the Crystal Ball there once.
Yeah.
And I was an involved citizen in Crystal.
Yes.
Okay, and I literally have walked in that building like 8 times.
I've been in the community center more than 8 times.
Yeah.
I had a daughter that was taking dance classes, and so I would drop her
son
off.
Played
and
Little
pick her
League over
up.
by there too. I'm
Yep.
sure you walked in there, but
I didn't walk in there when the Little League was going on.
Yeah.
I think we had a meeting there at the beginning of the Little League year, and then I didn't step foot in there again. So,
I mean, do you think that the cost benefit of that building has been, now that we've added those solar panels,
no.
it ain't going anywhere?
no, it's
But again, what
Yeah.
was the whole purpose? I mean, why is it there?
because I guess we needed one. I don't think there's a good answer to that question. What's the purpose of a building that it's all public education, public programs. Granted, the participants in those pay a nominal fee, I'm sure, to whoever's teaching or coaching. But there's probably not much that goes to the city in those. I mean, maybe there's some.
Well, again, I mean, I don't necessarily expect it to pay for itself. Nothing does for the government.
Right.
But I expect that if you're going to have a community center, that there's a purpose, there's a reason, there's a demand,
Right.
there's a plan. We're not just going to build a bunch of rooms and then hope that old people come in and play cribbage. I mean,
Right.
I've walked in that building. That building's been freaking empty.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm trying to think of the reasons why I've gone there. And I know that I voted there a couple times.
Yeah.
I know I went to the Crystal Ball, and maybe 10 times I've set foot in there. I must have had
Super memorable
meeting of some kind. I think Ann Rest and Lyndon or somebody
I went to one of those.
had a town hall there. I mean, not that they couldn't do it somewhere else, but I mean, I just look at it as kind of I don't know what the payback's been
right
for the community. I mean,
unless you have somebody enrolled in one of those programs in your family, it probably hasn't been any. You've driven by it
a million times
and never been inside or rarely been inside. Or
I'd like to take a poll of Crystal residents. How many people have actually gone into that building? And I'm going to say voting doesn't count.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's not fair. It's like,
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't set foot in there if you didn't have to vote there. So it's, how many people have voluntarily visited that building for some reason?
Yeah.
So to me, that's what a community center is. It's one of these things that every city seems to have or want or try to get or something like that. And then it sits empty most of the time.
Well, it's supposed to be one of these places that helps the community come together, and does it? I mean, I would say you have more of that like in that than you have in a community center.
Well, to me, that's what National Night Out's for. That's what the frolics are for. That's what airport days are for. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think.
Yeah.
And don't get me going on the pool, because I'll tell you something. Back in the day,
yes.
okay, When I was a kid, that was a happening place, the Crystal Pool.
Yes.
I don't know what it's like now. Okay.
I can tell you.
Well, you can tell me then, because I don't know.
Yeah, this is. Let's just say Mayor Jim Adams is not very happy and would like to. He has some ideas for the pool.
Okay, well, we'll let Jim speak on that.
We'll let him
next time
speak
he
on that.
comes
But
on,
it is not as well attended. Obviously, New Hope has a newer pool right
well,
now.
and here's the thing, I'm not sure the same amount of kids are in the city that used to be.
Right.
I don't know. I think there are reasons for that, but
well, let's just say the pool is leaking water.
Okay, well,
And there's a tear in it, and it's leaking a lot of water.
well, that's not good.
That's not good. No.
Can we patch it up?
Well, this is kind of the crux of it. Do you fix the pool? It's going to be super expensive, or do you just get rid of it?
Well,
So,
I think like everything, it's run its course. I think it's just run its course, the Crystal Pool.
Right.
But I mean, it would be sad, but I'd be okay if it shut down. But again, the point that I come back to is, even then, when the pool was the pool,
yeah.
I don't know. Is that something, if your kid wasn't in swimming lessons, I mean, it's open, 10 weeks a year, 11 weeks a year?
Yeah, it's
Like early June to late state fair time, maybe?
Yeah, it's like 9-10 weeks.
It's
yeah.
not open very much. So
No.
it's kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
Has it ever been worth itself?
No. But that's the problem with these things. A lot of these things haven't paid for themselves. They don't pay for themselves.
Well, here's the other problem with that. If it doesn't, like you said, they're not going to tear down the community center.
Right.
They got to fix it. Why don't they fix it? Why don't they go, okay, we got this dumb community center. We got to find a better way to make use of this.
Right.
And I don't hear those discussions going on.
No.
I mean, I never hear them from councils. It's just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep paying the bills, and we keep repainting it, and we keep, having checkers tournaments, and it's like, but it's kind of like, it's kind of like watching North Star. It's there. We keep running it. Nobody takes it. Then we discount the fare. Still nobody takes it.
Yeah.
We remove the masks and nobody takes it. And we, make it free and still nobody takes it. We put up a station with Wi-Fi and nobody takes it. I mean, it's like, okay, what point do we go, all right, no, here's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Nobody's coming to no citizens are coming to a council meeting demanding an amphitheater.
Nope.
None of them are coming there demanding a community center. This is all the same thinking that you'd get to put in a roundabout, or to put in complete streets, or to put in, you name it, Tobacco 21. It's all, somebody else is doing this, so let's bring it here.
Plymouth loves its amphitheater.
Do they? I live in Plymouth. I don't even know where it is.
It's over by the City Hall area, by Lifetime Fitness and stuff.
Okay, I know where that is because I went over there to vote. But
so it's just over off
55
of, Vicksburg.
Vicksburg, okay.
Yeah, just in over there, like a couple of blocks behind Cub or whatever.
So what do you do with an amphitheater all year?
Yeah, have
I
music
assume
in the park.
January you don't have anything. How about that monstrosity at Becker Park for all those years?
Oh, hey, I played there a couple of times.
Right. You played there a few times on, in the nice weekends we had. And other than that, homeless people just hung out in there.
Yeah, well, there was some of that. There was some of that going on.
It's a warm place to sleep. That was it. I mean,
well, and this is the thing. How they say this is what people want, but how much are they really willing to pay? And they don't understand. I mean, not really an amenity. There's a function of government, but take a look at Crystal and the public works building they built.
Oh yeah.
And
it's a big issue a few years ago. Yeah.
But they saved what, $10 million by paying cash for this.
Something like that.
Whereas, so it's just as bad, though, whether you're building a pool, whether you're building a golf course, whether you're building anything like that. How much are you willing to pay? And then you're really even paying more than that because of the interest on the bonds, because almost for sure they're going to bond it.
Or they're going to try to slap a sales tax on you.
Yeah.
A regressive sales tax.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, the bonding out there is, it's just like nobody saves for anything. I mean, don't you have government is one of these things that has their end of the life cycle.
Yes.
There could be a chair in the office that has a 10-year life cycle, and they'll just replace it, whether the damn thing needs to be replaced or not.
Yeah.
So if you know that a building is crappy and you know that in 10 years we're going to need a new one, why isn't it that you don't start saving any money for it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, a credit to Crystal that they had saved a lot of council, even though they didn't want to spend it when the time came.
Yeah.
They had still put money aside where a lot of cities don't.
True.
So ultimately, I mean, you can argue about whether something should be bonded or partly bonded or whether you should drain an account. Okay, fine. I can have that debate. But how many cities go, oh, yeah, well, this building was built in 19... It's not a shock, is it?
No.
So where's the planning been?
Yeah,
exactly. It's screw it. We'll leave it to the next council. We'll leave it to the next generation to go fix it. Well, there's that's just another problem with these amenities is that you're spending money on that. You spend $18 million on a community center. Don't run to me and say you need a new fire station.
Right.
It's like, no. You tell me what's more important, the golf course or the fire station.
Right.
But they don't want to have to make those decisions. They don't have to make choices.
Yeah, they don't. They think they can have it all, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, they can. That's the thing.
Well, because they can tax our butts anytime they need money.
That's right. I mean, the full faith and credit of the government, translation, they can tax your ass off.
Yeah. I'm looking at the San Diego Union Tribune here.
Ooh, we're going to California.
But this is from back in 2007.
I'm the governor of California. I need your help.
Yes. Carlsbad.
Been there.
They were building a municipal golf course.
That's spendy out there, let me tell you.
This was $70 million. Imagine building that. 70.
Just watering the course had to be. Be. Can't they go play at Pebble Beach? No, I'm kidding.
$70 million. The only one that came close at the time was the Calliope Preserve Golf Course in Pleasanton near San Francisco with a $40 million price tag.
Well, that's a $30 million cut.
They say that typically most municipal golf course projects cost $10 to $25 million, or they did back then. But it's fun because you get to watch the liberals kind of fight over this stuff. You have the ones that just want to spend the money, and then you have, especially out in California,
the conservative ones.
They were fighting amongst themselves. The ones that wanted to spend all the money, and then the ones that wouldn't allow them come near 3 endangered species.
Oh,
the Calliope silver spot butterfly, because apparently golf balls are knocking butterflies out. That's a problem. The tiger salamander and the red-legged frog on a 400-acre site.
You can take out all the 3-legged frogs you want.
I think it was a red-legged frog.
Oh, red-legged frog.
Yeah.
I don't like salmon. I don't like anything slimy.
No, I doubt that you have a bunch of salamanders and frogs getting hit by golf balls, and definitely no butterflies.
I think if that were true, they would move.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Animals are pretty adaptive. It's like, hey, there's somebody's teeing off over here. Let's get the hell out of the way.
Yeah. Hey, Bill, I've had enough of this. They're
not gonna stand there and get hit. They're gonna figure it out.
Oh, boy.
Of course, if you were golfing, they'd just jump in the pond. Then they'd get... Actually...
That's not where they'd go because all my balls go in the pond.
Yeah, they'll stand in the middle of the fairway. That's what they'll do.
That is the safest place to be if you're golfing with me. Stay out of the woods, stay out of the water.
Get that Caddyshack slice going on.
Yeah, that's true.
Now let me give you an idea here on New Hope. Oh, our favorite city.
Yes.
Their $5 million bond sale for their pool, but they actually lowered it.
Yeah.
They saved $480,000 in bonding. This is from 2019. And once again, that's a cut in their minds.
Yeah.
We had great bids, said city manager Kirk O. McDonald. He added that we have a lower tax impact on... Oh, hey, wow, you only have to pay this much more.
Yeah.
Even though you have a higher debt proportion... Listen to this, doorknob. Even though you have a higher debt proportion, you will pay over 66% of the debt within 10 years, said senior municipal advisor, oh boy, Casey Kavivang.
Kavive?
Kavivang.
Oh, Kavivang.
Kavilvang.
Kavilvang. All right.
The bonds were issued for a term of 16 and a half years, repayable from 2021 to 2035. So, hey, you're a year in it, New Hope. The project, this is what the project included. Demolition of the old city hall, skate park, park shelter, hockey rink, outdoor theater, and construction of a new pool, picnic shelter, skate park, the old city parking lot, blah, blah, blah. State of Minnesota gave $2 million. Remember, that was part of the bonding bill a few years back. The total cost $17 million.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't worry, you save $400,000 bonding.
Yeah.
And what is this? What did Colvang say? You will pay 66% of it over the next 10 years. So congratulations, New Hope. You saved a bundle.
Ugh. Wow.
The $17 million would probably pay for their police department over the next handful of years.
Yeah.
But once again, they can do everything. They can do it all.
Oh, that's just awful.
I'll tell you, here's the worst. This is more recent. February 6, 2022. A host of Twin Cities suburbs, I'm on usnews.com. Twin Cities suburbs look to enact local sales tax.
Oh.
Of course, nobody wants to save the money. You know what they're probably going to do, too? Say, hey, if this referendum doesn't pass, we're going to bond it. It's like Elk River. We're going to bond it, and you're going to pay more, pal.
Yeah.
We're going to do it, whether, we're not debating that. A host of Twin Cities suburbs are looking to enact local sales taxes to help maintain and upgrade aging public amenities like community centers, ice rinks, and city buildings. Cities include Edina, Bloomington, Golden Valley, Roseville, and Brooklyn Center, looking to enact new sales taxes on top of the 6.9% the state already collects to pay for all these projects. City officials say the tax is a way to collect money from out-of-town visitors who use their facilities, reducing the burden on residents. Yeah, right. Let's see those tax cuts on the residents, Golden Valley.
Yeah, it's not coming. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah. According to the League of Minnesota Cities, more than 40 cities across the state have received legislative permission to enact a sales tax. Oakdale plans to ask voters this fall to approve a tax to build a new police station. Why don't you plan to build your own damn station? What, they got to do a sales tax for a police station? Now let me see. What does Oakdale have? They got a pool, they got golf course, they got a liquor store, they got community center. I'd like to find out.
Yeah.
You got a community center that's empty, move the police officers there. How about that?
How about that? You know, who else is building a police station? Crystal's building one. And you know how much bonding is occurring to build this police station?
I'm going to guess you can count with one number. 0.
That's it. Yeah.
Where's it going anyway?
Same spot. They're just building, rebuilding. It's right in the same footprint, a little bigger, probably because there's more criminals around here than before. But
can we bill Minneapolis for it?
We should. They're at fault for most of it.
I agree. At fault for a lot of it.
Yes, but I mean, we see this whether it's amenities or even, the big Taj Mahal city centers with the new city hall and the police stations and
they're going up everywhere.
Yeah. How some of these places are able to afford some of this. I mean, we thought the one in Ramsey was a sight to behold, but I mean, these aren't out of the ordinary anymore.
Apple Valley has one that's would like rival the Sears Tower. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
It's funny. I have been to like city halls in like Isanti and like East Bethel, and they're these little buildings that
do just fine.
They do just fine there. I don't get why they need a Taj Mahal. I mean, what? I think part of it is they just spend it. Who's going to stop them? I mean, who's going to stop them from spending it?
Well, that's part of it.
I mean, they can bond. You won't see it for 20 years. So I think the thinking is just, I think that's the thinking. And it's just, no one's going to, and I'll tell you what, one thing that really has to happen, and here's what I'd like to see. If you're going to do a comprehensive plan, okay, screw the freaking walking paths and the bike lanes and the whatever else.
Yeah.
And it should be a need. There should be a section of needs and a section of wants.
Right.
And we should get a price tag for the whole thing. How much longer has this fire station got? If it needs upgrades, what are they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start planning for it now. And
right.
Police and fire, roads, they come first.
Yep.
In the needs basket. And the other stuff in the wants comes after that.
Absolutely.
And you won't see that. No, the comprehensive plan will all be about how much they want to increase renting in the city, or how much they want equity among housing affordability, or garbage like that, how much more transit they can bring in. That's the city's idea of a comprehensive plan. So, to me, again, I go back to just the lack of long-term thinking, and I'll tell you what, something has to be done about bonding. There are limits in place, but they clearly aren't working.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you want to change course, a new council comes in New Hope, they're stuck with those bonds for till 2035.
Oh, absolutely.
How do you change course when you're paying off? And by the way, nice reporting there, Sunpost.
Yeah.
It costs 17. Well, what's the real cost? What's the total that you're really paying?
Because nobody adds the interest in.
Of course not.
As we've had this discussion with other city council people in the past, you know.
Well, when you go and buy a new car, you don't ask how much you're going to pay in interest. You just ask how much the cost of the car is.
Well, you're still paying the cost of the interest
Your
over
cash
and
I'm borrowing.
above, over and above what you're paying.
Well, yeah, I mean, that $10,000 car costs what when you pay it back? That's the bill that we get.
And you know what? As a consumer, it's bad on me if I don't try and figure that out. What's the total cost of the car?
Oh, God, that's the first thing I do. I cry.
As a public official, it's bad on you if you are using my money and you don't tell me how much total I am on the hook for.
Yes, I'm going to add the media in that, too.
Yes.
They ought to be, those documents are easy to find. If you can't find them, they have to show them to you. They will. Certainly the Sun Post has access to that.
Oh.
Why isn't that being printed? hey, the actual cost of this crap is
right.
$25 million, not 17. $25 million is the bill you're getting.
Yeah. How many people, if they saw the difference between what they're being told it is and what it actually is, would be up in arms about spending on these types of things?
No, I just think that, again, I think it's too much to shoot at. I just think it's, there's an old adage, you can't fight City Hall. I don't believe that, but these people, they make these plans, and they're like a belt sander headed for wood. I mean, they're just, they go forward no matter what. So I don't know. I mean, but this stuff is not going to be easy to reverse because of once those bonds go in place, man, you're paying them back no matter what.
Yeah.
Can't default on it. So,
nope. That would affect your bond rating.
Well, but it would affect everything. I mean,
absolutely. But
I mean, that's just, I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm dreaming here that you couldn't get, it would take you 8 years to change course.
Yeah.
Because of the TIF districts to pay off, because of the bonding that they have. I mean, I don't even know where you'd start. I mean, I guess you'd start with not issuing anything more.
That's where you have to start, with not issuing any more, and then you have to figure out
you have to figure out how you're going to pay off and save at the same time.
That's what Crystal has had to do. And, Mayor Jim has somehow figured it out, got his arms around it, and Crystal will be debt-free in 7 years if they're able to stay on that plan. And I don't know. Maybe we need to start giving awards out for debt-free cities. The Community Solutions Debt-Free City Award, or.
But, I hate to say this, they're encouraged to borrow.
Absolutely they are.
Interest rates are low. Everybody's doing it.
But they're going up. Now, all these cities that are addicted to debt and addicted to bonding, what are they going to do? Because we're not stopping raising interest rates. The Fed's going to raise them probably another 5 times this year.
Yeah, maybe. Even though the Fed, in my opinion, has helped create this problem.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they're largely responsible for it. Not completely, but they're 75%.
It's that. It's the banks. It's
the government overspending. It's people overspending too, because the money supply is too much.
Right.
And the only ways you can, I mean, here's the thing. You want to curb inflation. Nobody wants to do the obvious stuff, was the government quit borrowing and spending.
Yeah.
Well, that just never happens. So the only other turn is to get people to stop doing it.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to get that is to make it harder to borrow.
Make it harder to borrow, call in some currency.
Yeah, that's a rough one too.
It is.
I'd say China holds all the cards, to be honest. I mean, they can call in anything they want.
Well.
So, I mean, but they're kind of dependent on us too. I mean, it's a two-way street, but it is scary. I mean, it is scary when you look at these cities though, and what they owe. I mean, you and I, when we first opened Crystal's books, and we found that we owed 10 times as much money as we had in our budget, was just falling off your chair time.
Right.
Now, a lot of that was due to the pool bonds, which are gone now, and the street reconstruction stuff,
right,
which is still there, but much less than it was because those projects are done.
Right.
And of course, the mill and overlay projects were going to be bonded as well. It's going to be another assessment. That's something that the council stopped under Mayor Adams. They didn't do another assessment. The plan was to do another one.
Right.
So, which is another, you're spending the money, you don't have it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just crazy. Here's the thing. What I'd love to do? I'd love to just write bonds. Can I personally write bonds? You put me in your portfolio.
Yeah.
Give me a muni. I want people to put me in their portfolio and give me a rating. I mean, seriously, stop and think about what government can do. Okay, they want to build a huge I want to build a golf course, Jay.
Okay.
So I'm going to write bonds to do it.
Okay.
But how come government can do it and I can't?
Well, I guess if you owned a business,
they make the rules.
But
a business is different.
Yeah.
You don't, unless it's a public company, Okay.
Right.
You don't get investors like that. It's got to be, I want bonding. I want bonding. I will pay. I'll do just what they did in New Hope. 66% of the debt will be paid in 10 years. It's a reason to celebrate.
Yes.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to build a pool and I'm going to build a golf course. And they're going to lose money every year. And I'm going to pay back the bonds and charge somebody else. That's government for you. That's what they're doing.
Yeah,
Private world could never do that, but they can.
Yeah. It doesn't seem fair. They've definitely got the advantage.
Fair.
Yeah.
They're going to have their own liquor store.
Yeah.
Hey, we had a violation. We just got fined. Hey, taxpayers. What do they do? Fine the taxpayers? I mean, ridiculous.
Well, I don't think you can get fined, right? It's the city inspectors that have to.
Well, it'd be the police who do that. They do the compliance checks.
Right.
Oh.
But what do you do? Walk up at a city council meeting and hand the mayor a ticket? There's a citation for the local liquor store because you guys were caught selling to an underage kid.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Go take it out of petty cash, Bill.
Yeah, hey, we got our own liquor stores. So let's jack up the cost of a liquor license. We don't have to pay it.
Right.
And I just want to know. I want to know what an amphitheater brings in. I want to know what those I live in Plymouth.
Nothing.
I'm a Plymouth citizen. I want to know what that amphitheater brings in.
I don't think they bring anything in. I mean, do you?
Well, I get the Plymouth newsletter, and I never hear, "Hey, concerts in the park."
Yeah.
Not like that brings anything in anyway. Maybe it's not meant to, but it's like, okay, well, what's the point of it if nobody's using it?
Right. Yeah, and I don't even know, what you would spend for something like that. And like I say, it does music in the park in the summer.
Well, I'm sure it has every bell and whistle you could possibly have, too.
Yeah.
Because it's government, so they don't care what they spend on it.
Yeah. And nothing but the best for our citizens.
Nothing but the best.
That's right.
What's the thing from Jurassic Park? Spared no expense.
Yes.
Oh, I see a picture of it. The Hildy Performance Center.
Yes.
Kind of looks like a butterfly.
In Plymouth.
The iconic, this is from Plymouth's website, plymouthmn.gov. The iconic Hildy Performance Center is one of Plymouth's defining landmarks. Just like the Statue of Liberty, it's one of the defining landmarks. A 45-foot tall open-air facility is built for excellent acoustics and in an outdoor setting.
Yeah.
A glass wall in the back of the band shell allows the audience to view the natural beauty of Plymouth's wetlands beyond the stage. So never mind what you're listening to. We want you to watch the beautiful fall foliage. Designed by the architects who created the Lake Harriet band shell in Minneapolis. We copied Minneapolis.
Why not?
Each summer, they feature the Minnesota Orchestra. Will you be?
Yeah. That's...
Okay,
okay, what else?
Oh, God.
What?
Other amenities around there. Listen to this. Central entryway. Secondary stage. Portable restrooms. So that's an amenity.
Is that called a porta potty?
Yeah,
that's
it's
portable restrooms. Don't church it up, son.
Yeah, it's Jimmy's Johnny.
It's Biff's.
Pod deck. Concession area that's probably always closed. Water fountain. What an amenity that is.
Oh.
paved trails and open green space. Look at those amenities around there.
Nothing like a good water fountain during COVID.
Yeah, and if you want to take a number 2, man, we got portable restrooms.
Wow. Wow. Nothing like sitting in a portable restroom when it's 85 degrees out.
With that sandpaper-like toilet paper, look out.
You start to, it's like a Native American sweat box. You start to sweat. And
Native
then you get the
American
chills.
sweat
It's terrible. Maybe you'll have to look up where this is. I can't do it while I'm looking at the Hempfield Park. I don't know where Hempfield Park is. That sounds like a stoner place, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was about to say hemp as in
Hempfield Park amphitheater cost jumps by $68,600. Doesn't this sound just like government? Hempfield supervisors approved a $293,600 contract to build an amphitheater in Hempfield Park, despite rejecting a $225,000 bid several months ago because it was too expensive.
Hempfield Park looks like it's in Pennsylvania.
Okay, yeah.
Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
Oh boy. So yeah.
Wait a minute, say that again.
So the supervisors approved a $293,600 contract to build an amphitheater in Hempfield Park, despite rejecting a $225,000 bid several months ago because it was too expensive.
Oh, jeez.
But now, he said, the chairman of the board of supervisors, it's a complete package. So it's much better. But of course, is government, when they give you a price like that, is it ever really the final price?
It's never the final price.
The prefabricated amphitheater itself cost $89,000, bringing the total cost of the project to about $382,000.
Yeah, I'd like to see how many cost overruns there are today with supply shortages and so on and so forth too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's just fantastic. Oh, I'm not even trying to look. Forks Township Amphitheater on hold after estimated costs exceed expectations. Surprise, surprise, ding, ding, ding.
I'm shocked. I know I'm shocked.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you are.
I know Brooklyn Park had been looking into a pool not too long ago.
Yeah.
I haven't heard an update on that in a while.
Well, let me just say quick on this parks or the Forks Township. Officials hoped the costs would not exceed $3,000. Didn't they plan? They just hoped on it. Engineering firm representative Tim Edinger presented estimated costs Thursday that totaled around $558,000.
Yeah.
We're only off by $250,000. What?
Well, what's the big deal there? I mean, there's no big deal.
Well, we were hoping for $3,000, but it really didn't work out that way. So, can you imagine that, going into a meeting and telling the public, yeah, we hope it's going to be this? Did you do your research? Did you take bids? Did you... well, we're too far in now. We got to keep going.
Well, exactly. I mean,
It's just amazing what they do. They will do whatever it takes to get whatever it is they're trying to get done. It doesn't matter what it is. If they want to get it done, they will.
Can I say something, too, about the Crystal Pool?
Yes.
Why do they not open until 1:15 in the afternoon?
Oh, teenagers are the lifeguards. They're not up before noon.
Saturday and Sunday, they close at 7 o'clock. I mean...
Yeah?
Why is that? What, it's dark till 9:30 and you're closed at 7?
Yeah?
I don't know. Seems kind of weird.
Well, like I say, teenagers aren't going to be waking up at 8 in the morning.
Fine, but they're going to stay up late. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. The Colorado Springs was working on a $40 million outdoor music coliseum. That's nice. It's just amazing to watch all of this. And that these people in government do not care. They don't worry about spending your money because they know that they can always get more of it. You know?
But they'll tell you.
Yeah.
Every cent they spend, they do such a great job. There's not one drop.
Yeah.
You know, you keep that in mind. They'll slap themselves on the back till they fall over.
Another one in Pennsylvania, Peters Township. The original estimates for a new amphitheater to replace a 30-year-old concrete structure at the park were more than $800,000.
Yeah, you know, this is kind of like Southwest Light Rail. I mean, whatever Jay, I've said this before on both shows, and I'm going to give this again. Whatever the government says, chances are the opposite is the truth.
Right.
9 times out of 10, the truth is one, and the more they say it, the more likely it's a lie.
Yeah.
It will only cost this. This is all it'll be. It's a one-time thing, blah, blah, blah. That is a 100% full-fledged out-and-out deceit.
Absolutely it is.
So if they say something, the more emphatic they are, the more they are lying.
Yes.
So if you're in a meeting and you hear the cost to replace blah, blah, blah will be $3 billion, triple it. And that's probably the truth. When you consider interest, inflation, cost overruns,
maintenance, upgrades, updates,
times it by 5.
Yeah.
Tell me they don't upgrade a golf course or have to replace this or that, or same thing at a pool. What's all that chlorine cost? What's cost of labor will go up. Cost of
chlorine is
concessions will go up.
Increased a ton. Yeah. There's a shortage.
Of course there is.
Of course there is.
The old Biden economy. There's a shortage of fresh air. I mean, bottom line, I mean, this stuff really needs to be under scrutiny. I'll tell you what, the legislature has got to stop approving. We have got to get rid. Call me a hypocrite if you want. Okay. I do not think local governments should be able to raise their own sales tax. Some people say local control. I say bull. This is like having a toll road. If you make a toll road is going to be everywhere. Because there's always an excuse to tax and spend.
Absolutely.
You make one thing a toll road, but before that will be Illinois. Okay? So the point being that as soon as one city gets the permission to do this, look what's happening. They're all trying to.
Well, you don't have people that have any restraint. I mean, that's the problem. If you knew that there was some sort of public trust where, okay, we're going to treat your money as sacred. When we tax you, we're not going to tax you more than we need. We're only going to take care of things we actually need. If there was some sort of relationship like that we could count on, that's one thing. But that's not it. You have people that are wildly spending out of control. You have people that are trying to put in all sorts of things under the sun. They're not good with our money. They don't care. They'll just ask for more if they need it. So because of that, you can't put people in control of that, unfortunately, in charge of generating their own, we'll call it revenue, because that's what they call it, generating their own revenue when they have the power to just take it when they want it. There has to be limitations around that, because as soon as they need money, they'll just take it from you.
And they'll figure out a way.
Yeah.
Bonding, franchise fees, permits and licenses, point of sale tax. A tax on your tax.
Yes.
I mean, they'll invent it. they'll
You're
do
right.
anything. It's just the never-ending quest for more. But I'll tell you what, it is not. You can call me a hypocrite if you want, but I do not think we're going to get to a point where every city in this state is going to have a half-cent sales tax.
Yeah.
We're going to get there at some point. You're talking about 40 already, okay, that have been given. What's the rationale for saying yes to one and no to another?
There's not one.
It's not. It's all lobbying. So at some point, every city is going to do this. And by the way, that sales tax is regressive. That hurts lower and middle income people more.
Yep.
So don't you tax the rich people who keep supporting this stuff? I mean, that's the thing. And I've constantly said this. If we're going to have progressive taxes and regressive taxes, they both need to be looked at.
Yep.
And nobody's willing to do that. Nobody on either side of the aisle has any solutions whatsoever. It's just rhetoric. It's election year garbage. And again, whatever the politicians are saying, the opposite is probably true.
Right.
Just a good rule of thumb to live by. As head of the cynical party, that is my decree.
That's I can agree with
And
that.
I can't think of a truer one to say, really, to be honest.
Yeah. They have a nice little scam going. It's
Scam is not even a fair enough word.
right.
It's not, it doesn't accurately describe it, to be blunt. It's a scam of all scams.
Yeah.
And by the way, I mean, let's go back here. Your counties can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if much the school districts do this, but other forms of government, Three Rivers Park District can do this.
Right.
Okay. So this isn't the only place. Your city's not the only place taxing you.
No.
State of Minnesota does this crap. They bond for billions of dollars, have a huge surplus, and they take out the credit card.
Yeah. And sometimes they even bond when it's not a bonding year. It's great.
Go study Minskew and look at the buildings that all get put up for $20 million. They're all bonded from the state of Minnesota. Most of them are, and you're paying $30 million for that $20 million building.
Right.
And it'll take 20 years before it's paid. You're going to get that bill every year until you're 70.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, it's crazy. It's just nuts.
So how do we stop this? How do we get our arms around curbing some of this spending or figuring out, okay, if a city wants an amenity, God bless them, but then how
Well, you got to be honest with the public, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that too.
Step one is being honest about its use, how much money it brings. Because remember, if you have a pool that pays for 60% of itself,
Yeah.
that's a 40% loss annually.
Right.
So when you talk about the cost of it, okay, it's $5 million to build. Well, we bonded it, so it costs $7 million. Well, we lose $500,000 a year on it. What does that add up to?
Yeah.
I mean,
you never get that full picture.
no, of course not. But it would change. I bet it would change people's minds. Maybe not on the council, but out in the real world.
Right.
And again, it's also about listening to the people. If nobody is coming to a council meeting demanding a bike lane, why are you putting one in? If nobody's demanding an amphitheater, why are you talking about it? And I go back to the needs bucket and the wants bucket.
Mm-hmm.
And the needs come first. The wants, if they come at all, come somewhere after that. It's like your real life. I got to pay for the electricity. I got to pay the phone bill. I got to eat.
Right.
Okay, got to pay the rent. And if I have money to go out and get drunk and play pull tabs, fine, great. If I don't, then I can't. And the more I put on the credit card, say, hey, I don't have money for Twins tickets, but I got that credit card.
Yeah.
We'll get tickets behind the dugout. Well, eventually you got to pay the bill, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's the same thing here. And again, I think there's just there's a credit card with no limit.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's hard to change because it takes long-term planning, a long-term vision. You have to stick to it.
Yeah.
Staff's going to resist it. You have to
Yeah.
fight them too. I mean, ultimately, that's what it takes. You got to put a stop to the madness and figure out how you're going to fix it. And that's a 10, 20-year process.
Yeah, unfortunately, with the hole that most cities have dug themselves into, that's true.
Use Crystal as an example. When Mayor Adams walked in, you owed $100 million on street reconstruction, and they weren't done.
Yeah.
He had, 3 more projects or whatever it was back in his first term?
Yeah.
You had a plan to mill and overlay everything and add another.
Yeah.
You had a plan for a public works building to bond, even though you had the money to pay cash. You needed a new police station. It took him 2 terms
Yeah.
to change course. And the resistance he had from council members, from city staff, constantly.
Constantly
It
fighting.
was a
people.
Herculean effort to do that. So, how many people have like the backbone or the stick-to-itiveness? It's easier just to give in sometimes.
Yeah.
Tired of fighting it. So,
Well, and as a resident, you need to get involved early in the process. And that's why it's important that you at least know what your city council, your county board is talking about.
I'll say another thing about that too. A lot of these cities set up task forces to study this stuff. Got to have people on that.
Yes.
Got to have critical voices, not necessarily people who oppose it or people who want to just see the facts. Somebody may think a pool's a good idea. Then they get involved in the numbers, go, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Seriously, it can start because it gets marketed to you as such a good thing. So, need people on that. It can't be the normal people that apply for this stuff who are all just yes men to these projects. It has to be, you need new people to get on there who are skeptical of these things in order to make that happen. So get on those task forces. I go back to planning commissions. I go back to volunteering to serve on a task force for your comprehensive plan. A lot of cities have that where they have citizens involved. You got to be on that. I know we just went through that cycle recently. Okay. But cities amend them all the time. It'll be 2026, 27, 28 before we know it. And a new plan will be, written up.
Yeah.
So, takes that too. So it's our usual stuff. Look, there's people who make things happen, people who watch things happen, and people say, hey, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay. And you want to be the first. You want to be
Yes.
the first, not the latter too.
Exactly.
All right, Jay, my voice is going.
Yeah.
My golden voice. This is what makes me all the cents that I get. Not dollars, all the cents.
Yes. All those hundreds of cents.
It's
that
just
come
incredible.
rolling in. Yes.
So I'm gonna give it off to you,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do the sign-off sermon. Bring the music. Community Solutions once again presents jet flying, limousine riding, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, the king of sting, the Count Monte Cristo. I said it right. The master of disaster, the Roddy of Piper. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, words of wisdom from Jason Bradley.
Well, that's a large bill there. I hope I can fill it. Goodness, yeah. Everybody loves to have fun, and that people want to have a city where they can go do stuff, and whether that's go to a park or go to a beach or walk on some trails or this, whatever. And people want that stuff, and they're not inherently evil. We're not coming at you saying, "Oh, you got to stop this stuff from happening." You got to decide what you want, what you're willing to pay for it, though. And your politicians had better be honest with you about how much it really costs, so that you know whether it is worth the sacrifice or not. You know, do you need a golf course, a community center, a network of hiking and biking trails, and, you know, this and that and the other thing? Or, you know, maybe this thing over here really isn't a good fit for the community, and you should be putting your efforts and your money somewhere else. Problem is that we don't really know, because they do not play honestly with us. That really is the crux of the problem with just about all things in politics, is that they have not been honest with us. And how can we continue? How can we continue to put trust in people that are not trustworthy? How can we continue to just allow government to build anything they want to bring in all these projects, and we don't even know sometimes, is it the lowest bid or is it not the lowest bid? As that other article that I referenced today, it wasn't. They ended up spending $250,000 more. Nobody understands why government does what they do, and the problem is they're not dealing with their money, they're dealing with your money. So it's not such a big deal. Well, that's a problem. If you have politicians that are dealing with your money and they say, "Oh, it's not such a big deal. You know, this is what it costs. We can just go get more." Then you know that there needs to be a fundamental change in the way the government is happening. The act of governing should take your money as sacred, and you need to find somebody that's willing to do that treats every dollar that they get as if it is something that it's not just to be spent willy-nilly. It is important that it's done right. It's important that the paperwork is there and the numbers and the facts and the figures to back everything up, because, you know, we all work hard, and, well, a lot of us work hard. Some of y'all slackers need to get busy, but for those of us that are paying taxes in, and we see half of our year go towards paying taxes, and we only get to reap the benefits of the other half. You think about all these things that it's going towards. I mean, whether it's the local amenities, whether it is your federal taxes, your state taxes, and all of these ways that they take your money from you, and it's got to stop. We cannot continue to allow them to do this to us, because they will not be satisfied with this. At some point, they're going to want to spend more money and then need more of your money. At what point is it enough? At what point is it too much? For me, I've already crossed that line. So how do we do that? How do we, once everything is kind of, you know, gone out, how do we reel it back in? It's hard. It's not easy to do. But it takes people that are willing to look at the problem, and instead of continuing to feed the beast, they begin to do things that we can't just do everything we want. So we got to spend less. You know, we got to make sure we pay off our debts. We got to save. The same things that we do in our own homes with our own finances, it's no different for a city. It's no different for a state. You pay your bills. You save your money. And you try to right the ship. And then once you've fully done that, you can save up for things. You begin to pay for it the right way. So that's something that we have to take into effect. Well, unfortunately, most people in government, they get taught to do this the wrong way. You've got like the League of Minnesota Cities, which teaches people to look for the free money and to do things with money that's really not being a good steward of the taxes that they bring in. So we've got to do better. We've got to raise a shout from our neighborhoods. We have to stand tall at City Hall, and we have to demand accountability. But I don't think we're going to get it. So what do? We have to step in. We have to have people that are good at what they do. And in order, are we that person? Would we be a good steward of the public trust when it comes to the tax money? Or do we know somebody that would be? And we have to bring ourselves together. We have to have people that are willing to think about this differently, because too many people in government are not willing to think about it differently. And that's part of the problem. Until we get people that are willing to do the same thing happening, and we're never going to see things get better. So tell you what, if you're ready to make that change, we still got some time this year. Now, filing deadlines are coming up soon for some places. So you're going to have to make some decisions. But we need you this year. We need you if you're a good, honest, hardworking person that's just had enough of what government is doing. Well, then, the time has come. Get a hold of us at commsolutionsmn@gmail.com. That is commsolutionsmn@gmail.com, because I will tell you this. We will continue to get what we've got if we don't do something different. And so we need patriots everywhere to stand up. We have had so many people get a hold of us this election season, and something tells me we ain't done yet. Let's go take this state back. We got 20,000 elected and appointed seats across this state that we want to take out of a possible 30,000. That gives us the clear advantage across the state. So let's do this together. Let's stand up and link arms and go win. That's what it's about. In order to return freedom, fiscal sanity, take all of this nonsense away, where all of our traditional beliefs are getting just massacred and distorted. We need all of you. We can do this. I mean, that's less than 2%. Well, it's about 2% of people that believe the same here in this state, that have voted with the same types of values. We only need 2% of you. And it's sad to me that we're not even getting that kind of participation. You can do this with our help. I believe in you. And you know what? You can do this. You can do this. We love you, Minnesota. But now it's your turn to get to work.
If I get too caught up